Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Live at Drew's house, another edition. I'm Drew. This is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome back.
Drew.
People have missed you.
Oh, yeah?
It's September now.
It is September.
School time. Very exciting times. School times.
I love the fall.
You do love the fall.
Mm.
The pumpkin stuff coming out. Never too early for you. A lot of people complain about the pumpkin stuff coming out too early. Is that pumpkin?
I did add some pumpkin spice to it.
You got the Friends Central Perk theme thing there. That's New York. You've done a good job with the New York theme. I, too, have done New York theme. You know why?
Is your guest from New York?
No. No, that's not why.
Well.
Nope. U.S. Open tennis. Doing it with no fans this week. How about that? I'm sure you've watched plenty of matches already.
Very exciting.
I know. No fans. It's a weird thing to watch. That's what's going on in the sports world. I have a sports guest on today too, but not tennis. It's golf. We'll get to that in a second. What else is going on with you?
Well, we had a vacation. That was nice.
That was nice.
We went to Maine.
Maine was fun.
It was great.
Lovely.
Yep, we did a lot of hiking, and
this is your favorite time of year.
Nice and relaxing. It did a couple of days really felt like fall up in Maine, which I do like. I like to, not that I like the cold, but I love to like snuggle. I love fires. I love hot coffee.
Yep, it is good. It's a good time of year. Of course, football. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know you don't care about any of this.
I don't care.
You know how I did balance off the New York thing? Wore my Boston sweatshirt. See that? Can't have too much New York. I love New York as a city, but I don't want any of this rivalry stuff to get in the way. So my guest today, this guy named Nick Maccario. You know what he did? You know how I played
something golf related.
Yeah, you know how I played golf at Bradford Country Club?
Nope.
I play there a lot.
I don't know where you play. I know you go golf.
You don't care where I go? Well, this guy shoots a 58. I have shot that's 18 holes, a 58. I have shot 58s on front nines before. Back in the day, not too recently. I'm playing better. But this guy, it was unbelievable. He broke records, club records. I'll have to ask him how many records he actually broke with this 58. But the club is like challenging the pros to come and play and see what they can shoot now at the place. Pretty cool. You got to be impressed, Sarah.
I don't know what 58 even means.
Hit the ball 58 times. So like most golf courses are par 72. That means you should.
What was this golf course?
Probably that it's 72.
So that's like the average.
So I mean, like, I don't know how he did it, but 4 pars, 14 birdies. Crazy. It's 14 under. It's 14 under perfection.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. So we're going to have him on. Don't know him, meeting him today virtually for the first time. Did you see our last guest the other night there? I know you're very into the school scene, being a teacher, but did you see those athletes that are rallying to let us play?
I did see that. Yep. My cousin's going into her senior year too.
Right.
And she's very worried about that. It is sad. It's just,
tough situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's all these memories that you make senior year. It's really their one opportunity to make these memories. So I understand why they're upset.
I get it. And I understand wanting to play too. I mean, they look at it like they're less vulnerable than young kids are, less vulnerable than adults, and they think they're safe. And I understand that too. And it seems like a lot of them, I did like that answer. Where she said, what was it that she said? She said that I asked if you know about respecting the virus. Do most high school kids respect the virus? And the answer was yes. We're not out there running around being stupid. I keep it to my small circle of friends. I work at Market Basket. You kind of got to respect that too. I mean, she's working in a tough environment. You got to think she's taking precautions. I don't know. It's just, I really felt, I felt for Darcy McDonough was her name, by the way.
Yeah.
That was our guest.
It did sound like she knew the guiguidelines and they were trying to follow them when they did their practices and stuff like that.
Very smart answers, I thought, from Darcy the other night. I don't know. If you haven't had a chance to catch that show, maybe go back and watch it because it was interesting. It just sets you up, high schoolers' mind, fall sports, schools, gives you some insight on all this stuff as we, first week of September. Crazy times. Anything else?
No.
Should I go to my guest? You ready for me to talk some golf?
Yes.
I take it you won't be staying for the golf interview.
I will not, but you guys will have a great time.
We will have a great time. I would like to say, Nick, do not be offended here that Sarah will be leaving.
No one should ever be offended.
No, that's a great
I usually leave.
If you do, you should. All right, let's bring in Nick right now. All right, Nick Maccario joining us now. All right, so this man, I've kind of hinted about it here in our little intro about what he did on the golf course. But, well, Nick, I think it's safe to say you did something on the golf course that I will never be able to do, and I'm a big-time golfer. First, congratulations on an epic round. Thanks for joining the show. What has this last week been like for you?
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's been wild. I've had a lot of people reach out, golfers, non-golfers, and it's been a lot of great support. So, I've talked to a lot of people over the course of the summer. Golf is one of the only things people can do this year, given the circumstances. So it's kind of a unique bonding scenario of a lot of people have gotten out on the golf course recently.
All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself. So you shoot a 58 was the number, right?
56.
56. That's
Not to be nitpicky.
I was told that. Great line. That's right. Thank you. That's a great correct. Yeah, two strokes off. That's a bad job. Unbelievable score. I have played that course. It is not it is not some easy course out there. It's especially there's real tricky holes. Are you a member there?
Yeah. Yep. So I've known the Murphy family who owns it since I've been, a young kid. I started working there in high school and throughout college. So I've played my fair share of rounds there. Kevin's definitely taught me a few times here and there. So feel pretty comfortable around it. But yeah, it's not the easiest golf course. It's not long, but it's certainly tight and can play, right now with Massachusetts, haven't had that much rain. So pretty firm and fast most recently.
What was what was the lowest number you've put up there before?
63. I've done that a couple times when it was at a par 70, and then when it was, as it stands now, is 71. So I've shot 7-8 under a couple times there, but this was obviously a little bit different.
I can imagine. So you're on fire on this particular day. I mean, this was your round. Every golfer, I think, has probably asked you the same question. When did you know that this was something special? I mean, you never want to look too far ahead. It's one shot at a time. But at some point, you had to be thinking, okay, I'm doing everything right now.
Yeah, probably after the front nine. So I've shot 28 on the front nine before. When I shot 27, I was like, okay, this is one better. And for whatever reason, it felt like 10 better, which it's only one shot, but it makes a huge difference. And so, after the front nine, I was pretty much tied with the course record at that point, being 8 under. But, then, got to the 10th hole and missed a short putt for birdie, which everyone talks about, which I'm not going to be picky and say that I needed to make that putt. The 11th hole, made a good par. That was the hole that I've worried about. It's a long par 3. It's 190 yards.
I've read about that short putt, by the way. I promise you this will be the last time I bring it up. But can you show me in like a hand motion how short the putt was?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been more than 3 feet in my opinion. So it wasn't great on my end. It was probably the easiest putt you can have for a right-hander. It was about like right edge and kind of uphill. So I don't know what came over me at that point, but fine in the long term. 11 made par, and then there's back-to-back par 5s, so I know I needed to do well there, and birdied 12, birdied 13. So now I was 10 under, and I said, okay, 10 under is like a big number. I still wasn't thinking 59. I was thinking at that point, okay, if I par out, I shoot 61, and that's pretty formidable. And then I hit it to about less than a foot on the next hole, and tapped in to get to 11 under. And then, at this point, you're like, okay, I need one birdie in 4 holes to shoot 59. And, 18 is somewhat of a birdie hole. But, the next hole on 15, got up there, laid back, hit it to about 8 feet. And it was probably the hardest putt I made all day. It was just a little bit downhill. I rolled it in. And now I'm like, okay, I'm on the number. So at that point, obviously, I knew that if I made 3 pars in a row, I would shoot 59. But, 16 was really the hole that I needed to par the most.
So I cannot imagine. I mean, all the pressure's on you. I wouldn't be able to hit a golf shot probably. That's a whole different kind of pressure. But the guys you're playing with, I mean, are these good friends? I can imagine that's a wild ride for them too.
Yeah, you could tell after the front nine, things I don't want to say got quiet because they didn't. I was telling Nick Antonelli, who's been a really good friend of mine and is a professional golfer in his own right. It was even at the beginning of the day, I said, it's great. I'm playing well, but it's, no one's being too silent. The only time I remember it being like really, really, awkward was on 16. I had about a 3.5, 4-footer for par. And I remember like, usually you're playing with your friends on the weekend, that they're just going to give you the putt. They're like, it's good. This was obviously a lot different. And, when I made it, they're all like, yes, let's go. So you usually don't get that camaraderie when you're playing against other people, but yeah, they're great friends. Rob, I haven't played with probably the most, but certainly have known him for a lot of years. And Nick Facette, who was my partner and riding in the cart with me, was, all over me the whole time. And, was always like, keep going. So it was great support.
Did you have to, it probably does, because you probably know pretty early on when you get a little something special going, you're probably right. You're going to say, start hole and everything, right? Because this scorecard is there. I can't.
Yeah, there's not too many times. There was a time early on when I played at Bradford, and I got to like almost double digits under par, and I remember finishing like double bogey, par, bogey, and just being like, man, I need to be better when I go low to finish it off. This year, especially competitively, I've been able to finish rounds well. It doesn't have to necessarily be going really low under par, but it's been something where I've worked on staying concentrated, not getting ahead of yourself, and it's paid off both in competition and just playing your regular Sunday morning match.
So you're out there, you're cruising through. I can imagine. Is it nerves once you get to like 18? Are you or are you locked in? Is it tunnel vision? Are you even talking to these good friends of yours out there anymore?
Yeah, I would say getting
a tee shot. That's a tough
tee shot. Getting to 18th hole, I was lucky. I had a buffer, right? So, if I make par, I think I was going to shoot 58. So I said, okay, I can even make bogey. You can't hit it left. So I literally I teed up driver. Nick asked me what I was going to hit. I said, I'm going to hit driver, and I'm just going to try to hit it as far on grass that I can find it. You know what I mean?
Pulled out driver on 18.
Yeah.
That's a short par 4.
Yep. And he was like, you can't miss left. I'm like, I'm just going to try to hit it as far down there as I can hit it. And, it actually is probably one of the best drives I hit all day. And, but yeah, I wouldn't say it was necessarily nerves. It was, no matter what, I think the guys and other people would have been like, what a heck of a round. Right. And, I just said, you know what, we're having fun with it. Why, something I've learned, especially in competition and just playing, is if you have it going, don't handcuff yourself to being like, I have to lay up, right? Everybody gives Phil Mickelson a hard time because of Winged Foot, back in whatever that was, the last time I was there, and it's going to be there in a couple weeks, was, he could have hit 7-iron and, won a US Open. That might be a little bit different, but if you're feeling it, why are you going to take a non-aggressive swing with a club that you haven't hit all day?
Yeah.
So, they were talking to me when I got to 18T. Nick asked, what are you going to hit? I got up there, hit driver, hit it down the middle. And then the floodgates were open. They started talking because, from 60 yards, I pretty much knew I wasn't going to make double bogey. So, everyone kept talking this, that, or the other thing.
Wow, that must be an unbelievable feeling. So you one more inside baseball question, because I know a lot of people don't know the Bradford course.
Yeah.
The massive par 5, is it 11? Water?
12.
12. Okay, so there's like, for people that don't know, you can probably drive the water. Maybe you have to lay up. Then you have to make another decision of whether to go for the green again,
right,
or hit this little island they put in the middle. What do you do there? You get there in 2?
Yeah. So yeah, it's probably, it's definitely risk reward. It's not everyone's favorite hole, but it's one you have to play. So when you look on the scorecard, you're like, oh, it's only 400 and I don't even know what it is, maybe 60 yards. You can't hit it more than 240 yards off the tee. So, I usually try to get as far down close to the hazard as you can. That day, I want to say I hit maybe a 3-iron off the tee. Excuse you.
Don't mind the dogs. They make their appearances every now and then.
No problem.
This is life in a pandemic at home.
It is indeed. So, I think I hit 3-iron to lay back. I had about 40 yards in and hit hybrid onto the green. So I usually at all costs try to get over, just because it's usually an easier shot from the landing area. But yeah, at that time I actually knocked it on in 2, which is rare. I usually lay it up just kind of short of the green and have an easy pitch shot, but I actually got it to the green, on Sunday.
Wow, so things are really cooking. So now here's my more general question for all the golfers out there. So you missed this little putt you said on 10. I guess I lied when I said that was the last time I was going to bring it up. I always say that there's no more pressure feeling in sports than like having a short putt about that distance when like everything's on the line. Even if you're playing with your buddies, like for $10, it's like, all right, you're supposed to make it. It's like everything. It's just the way it is. It's pressure for whatever reason. You've seen professional golfers get the yips and get in all sorts of trouble. Sure. I'm sure you have plenty of those as this round is going on. What is that like when you get those little knee knockers, as they call them? How do you settle yourself down?
Yeah, I was actually talking to a friend who was asking me about his putting, and I'd say I probably pride myself on my putting the most out of all parts of my game. It's probably been the most consistent for my last 10 years. Everything else has kind of ebbed and flowed. You need a repeatable process. Just like anything, right? If you have a repeatable process that you drill into yourself, you do it subconsciously, so that takes the pressure off. Now, that's obviously hard to say for your weekend golfer. They're not going to go beat balls and putt for hours on end. I think the thing that makes it difficult from other sports, I played hockey and I played baseball and basketball in college, not on a team, but I played intramurals, and everything else is moving, right? You have to just react. The thing about golf is like the golf ball is just sitting there and it's waiting for you to do something to it. Whereas you have to make a play in hockey, basketball, it's fast twitch and you don't have that time to think about it. When you hit, you have 3, 4, 5 feet to, again, you can win $1 off your friend. I want to win. I want to beat someone. I don't care if it's for $1 or $1,000, right? I'm trying to win, and that 3 feet, if you can go back to your process is most important.
Again, joined here by Nick Maccario, putting up so what kind of record is this actually? Like, have you dug it all up? Is it the lowest score in like the region, a course record?
Yeah, a couple people have asked me that. I don't know Massachusetts wise, or New England wise. There's actually a kid who shot, I think, 55 in Oklahoma most recently, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, certainly for Bradford Country Club, it's the lowest. I've had a lot of people text me, hey, like, what does this stack up against? Obviously there's only been like 4 or 5 55s. I would imagine there's maybe 10 or 56s ever. So no matter what, if it's even top 100 rounds, numerically, then that's really fun. And the one that I think is most interesting, and Nick Antonelli, who I played with, who's a pro, shot 64 and lost by 8. And he was like, "What's the lowest round? What's the second lowest round when someone breaks 60?" He's like, 64 has to be up there, and it really is. It's not many times you walk onto the golf course and shoot 64, and you're like, "Man, what did I like?" I feel like I just got run over by a train. So he was laughing about that, which is great.
The idea of shooting a 64 and losing by 8 is hilarious.
It's something new.
What that is fantastic stuff. What is your history here? So did you play, walk people through, when did golf become your game? Start from a young age, walk me all the way up through to where you are now.
Yeah. So my grandfather, my dad's dad, used to cut fairways at Unicorn in Stoneham. And, I was probably 3 or 4, and, I'd go over there. I wouldn't do anything crazy, but, I'd be around golf. I played a lot of other sports. Golf was kind of a second sport up until I was probably 12, 13. At that point, my parents, we had a vacation house up in New Hampshire where a golf membership came with the house. So my grandfather, my mom's dad, was up there, and we played every morning with his friends at 7 a.m., which as like a 13-year-old kid, getting you up out of bed at 7 a.m. is the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
But really started to play just a lot of golf, and it wasn't competitive in the sense that it was I was playing for anything, but it was competitive versus myself for a couple of years. Right before I went to St. John's Prep for high school.
I'm in Danvers at the moment, actually, as we speak to you.
Yeah.
Where are you as we talk to you?
Waltham.
Okay.
Yep. So from Haverhill, but recently moved to Waltham. And before I went to the prep, I knew I had to get better. So started to work with Mark Spencer at a Wyndham Country Club. He was at Atkinson when I first went to him, and worked on my game and actually got a swing coach. Baseball, the prep is good at every sport, but I gave up hockey first. I wasn't going to play at the prep. I played 1 year of baseball at the prep, gave that up. So I started to get more and more focused on golf, and I was pretty good. I wouldn't say that I am where I am now back then, but it's certainly something where that kind of molded my game and got really serious about it. So played all 4 years, was the captain my senior year, which take a ton of pride in just because there's not a lot of guys that have done that at the prep. And then I went to St. Anselm College. I only played 1 year. My freshman year, played well, won New England as a freshman, but just with some things on the team and then just some things with class. I wanted to be able to take a couple classes that, you give up a lot of time when you play golf, especially in college. You give up the first 6 weeks and the last 4 weeks of the year usually, which is tough socially too, with your friends. And when you first get on campus, you're behind the 8 ball. So only played for a year, but then continued to play some of the mass circuit type things. So played some state amateurs, some state opens. And that kind of leads to now, I play a pretty heavy schedule, obviously this year being discounted with coronavirus, but, I usually travel to Florida maybe once or twice. Atlanta, I have some family. So I go down there to practice every now and again. And then I play, the mass amateurs, I play the mass opens, our state mid amateurs, a US amateur last year. So, I would say I'm some people say professional amateur. I don't think that's probably the right way to say it, but, competitive, amateur golfer where, God bless my girlfriend. We don't take a lot of regular vacations. It usually revolves around golf. And, I use a lot of those days off to play golf, but, it's something that I enjoy, and I get to go to really, really cool golf courses and places, including, I went to Bermuda last year, which was fun. That was the first time I guess I don't know if you qualify as really leaving the U.S., but it was pretty cool to start.
That is cool. That actually shows you too. You're shooting numbers like that, and obviously you're a fine player. Those guys that are steady for all these decades on the PGA Tour. You mentioned a guy like Phil Mickelson earlier. It shows you just how. That is the top of the top, and how slim of the margins are. Just the
crazy
other tours. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone obviously. When I graduated college, when I shot this score, when I have one other tournament, it's like, oh, when are you going to turn pro? And it's a grind. The difference between I was reading this the other day, and someone mentioned it. Like Rory or someone mentioned it. McIlroy is the difference between the 100th ranked player and the number one player in the world is about a shot and a half a round.
Wow, which
is like. You really boil down to it, that's not a lot at all. That's one putt being difference between, on average per round, which is 4 shots a week.
Yeah. I screwed up by 2 strokes just coming on the show.
Well, there you go. So, those guys, the difference is so small. The difference between me and a PGA Tour pro is probably a lot bigger than just that one shot around, but, they're so good. And you see those guys shoot scores that, you shot before I shot 56. Scotty Scheffler at TPC Boston shot 59. That is ridiculous when you really think about it. The members there played as a par 73. So if he was playing with members, he really shot 14 under on a PGA Tour course. And, it's cool to be able to reference that and say, hey, Jim Furyk shot 58, I shot 56. It's all relative, obviously. I was not playing under the same conditions for the same money, and everything else, but it's cool to be able to just kind of have your name, floating around with some of that.
It is fantastic. And again, Nick Maccario joining us, shot this 56 at Bradford Country Club the other day. Again, a course that I've played there. Like I said, I'm from Danvers. I really enjoy that track, actually. I get there quite a bit.
Awesome.
It's one of our local ones that we go to quite often, and I just like the people. It's a nice atmosphere. And it is not an easy course. There's some quirkiness to it. You play through almost like a neighborhood a little bit on the front nine, a very nice neighborhood, but it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not an easy, my guys say this all the time, we're hackers, but we're decent hackers. And we say it's definitely not an easy track. So I saw your story and I said, wow, okay, that is a number that's going to get a lot of attention, and I'm just very happy for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Bradford has been awesome.
I hear they're challenging pros. I hear a lot of
that's what Kevin put that out there. Any pro that wants to come out and try to beat it. Certainly I would love to be there to see it as well. To all the people that think that it's too hard to come play, everyone has window insurance, so don't worry.
Is that true?
They do. They have a little pool there. Yeah. But it doesn't come into only on about 1 or 2 holes, but we really pride ourselves on trying to make it, a regular course for regular people. The food is great. I would urge anyone to go down there. This is a little plug to go down there and get food. They've opened up the tent and everything in Corona times. And the Murphys are the best family in town. Anyone will tell you that, up at Garrison, the par 3 course, or at Bradford. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's been great to be a part of that and have them get some publicity out of it as well.
Yeah, I have no problem plugging the golf courses, because as much as people think, and it is true, golf is one of the sports that's been able to flourish a little bit in popularity, but they really struggled out of the gates with this thing. There were a lot of restrictions, and even when they opened back up, you could only get so many groups out there at a time. They had already pretty much lost half their business. So yeah, no problems, preaching the local golf courses.
No, they've done a really great job, and they're put in a hard position. And I think golf industry is actually in a really good spot. It's not a lot of games you can play with coronavirus, right? And they're talking about high school sports a ton right now, but being able to go out with your friends, usually stay pretty distant. If everyone hits it down the left, someone hits it down the right, usually it's not next to each other. So, happy for everyone that can get out there and play golf, and whether it's with family and friends.
And I'm happy for the game too. It does seem like, I don't know from your perspective, but there've been some really dramatic finishes this golf season with the big pros and the ones that are on TV, and it does feel like the game is maybe having kind of I don't think it dipped too much in recent years, but it seems like it's a little bit of an uptick in popularity. This year.
I think with being on TV, there's not a lot of sports that are live on TV. I think you have golf's in an awesome place on the PGA Tour because you have so many guys, being number one in the world. You have so many guys that can win every week. It's the technology they use to be able to watch is phenomenal, right? You get every angle now. The only weird thing people talk about is not having spectators there, but I think everyone's kind of used to it at this point. And, I think when it first came out, everyone was concerned, but now with all these bubbles, whether it's the NBA, MLB, golf, they've done a really good job in stopping that, and it gives people something to look forward to. I think there's probably not enough of that right now with everything going on. Not enough people have things to look forward to or be positive about. So the fact that golf can be the face of that is really cool. And I think you're going to see an uptick in kids playing, adults playing, or people taking it up, which is awesome.
Now, you see, if you don't mind me asking, Nick, you seem like a young guy. How old are you?
28. Almost 29. Yep, okay. Getting old.
Not please. From a 33, I'm a 33-year-old here. This is you're in the prime. I mean, you could make them. Do you have aspirations to maybe if you start to get hot for a season? I mean, is that something that can happen to, as you called it, a professional amateur, and say, make a run at something?
I don't think true professional is something that I've ever wanted to do. But I certainly think this year, I've been lucky. I've had a good year in Massachusetts specifically, and is going to allow me to play in a lot of cool national events next year. So, I think for me, that's more of what I want to do. Everybody knows Matt Parziale, awesome guy, and has had already a crazy career, and he's only, I think, 31 or 32. Played in the Masters. Everyone saw him on, ESPN. Certainly, I don't need to be on ESPN, but
this is bigger. Trust me.
Exactly, absolutely. And my brother works for Barstool, so we don't need to go to ESPN.
Okay.
But I think if you look at the opportunity it gives you, you still don't have to play professional. For me, when you're going to go be a professional golfer, it takes on a different persona from being able to be luxury. And this is something that I look forward to. When you're playing for dollars and cents, some people absolutely can do it. And I don't know if I can or can't do it, but I would rather look at golf as, hey, I'm away from my desk. I'm away from work. This is fun for me to go play. Instead of having to go out there and hit balls, to having to practice instead of wanting to. So I've thought about it, but the luxury of being able to travel, go to Florida, go to California, wherever it might take me, has been a really great time.
Too cool. All right, so I usually end the show with a rapid fire. I did ask a couple questions. I did get this question that came in from a one Bill Flaherty here.
Okay.
So it seems to be a comedy question. Should I buy a new driver or take a lesson?
Take a lesson and get fitted. Most uncommon thing is not getting fitted. You have to get fitted because you think the driver works well, but fitting is most important.
Okay, interesting. That's interesting. I have done that one, so I'm okay, I think, with this particular set of clubs. But all right, very good. The best golf shot you ever hit in your entire life?
Oh, God.
We've now entered the rapid fire zone, by the way.
Right. Okay. Last year at the country club, I had the same caddy, Mackenzie Murphy, on the bag. I hit a toe down. So if you have a putter, the toe of your putter, I hit it with the like outside of the toe against the collar to like a 35-foot putt to help win a match last year. And that, I don't know why but that just kind of always has been a shot that I've practiced.
Okay, very good. I like that answer. What's the most pressure shot you've ever came through under pressure on?
Last year at the USAM qualifier, I was in a playoff, had about 160 yards in. The guy I was playing against was just off the front of the green. And, I knew if I hit a good one there and made birdie, I'd probably make it, and hit it to about 3 feet. Hit an 8-iron to about 3 feet and made the U.S. Amateur.
How about that? That is cool. You seem like a guy I'd enjoy like playing with. I like your demeanor. I can imagine you probably don't get too heated on the golf course. What is your secret though to match play? Is it do you try to keep a friendly banter with that guy you're playing, or do you, I don't know, how does that work? Do you try to stay in the zone?
It's tough. I think with match play, you got to read the other guy. I would say I don't get too high, too low. I would say both literally and figuratively, I look like Jason Duffner on the golf course, very even keeled. But yeah, I think it's hole by hole. I wouldn't say I talked to the other person a ton. Certainly I played with some good friends this year in match play, so that was maybe a little bit different, but taking hole by hole, and you can make a 12 on a hole and you're only one down. So I think that's the best way to do it.
Give a shout out to your, was it a foursome you were playing with too the other day?
Yep.
So give a shout out to everybody because they all deserve a little bit of credit, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So Rob Hayes, Nick Antonelli, and Nick Facette, they're all huge. Sean Roderick deserves one too because he originally was going to play and then texted me to take his spot. So that was a little bit of blind luck there. But they all deserve credit.
You're telling me you weren't even supposed to play?
Yeah, no, it was a midweek thing. I texted everyone, hey, do you guys want to play? They're like, oh, we're already set up, show up if someone drops out. And then Sean said it had car trouble and, ended up not playing. So it was me and those three guys. So it was a lot of fun and a little bit odd that happened that way.
Oh man, this was your day. That was meant to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank goodness for car trouble.
I know, right?
What is your favorite club in the bag? The one that if your life is on the line, putter?
Putter. Yeah, I don't even need you to finish putter for sure.
I agree with so much of everything you're saying. I could not disagree more. That's my worst enemy.
Yeah, yeah. I've had love or hate relationships with my putter for, you know, going through years. But most recently, I got a new putter at the beginning of the year, and you know, I absolutely love it. And putting in general, I love. You know, I don't necessarily care about the putter per se, but definitely, you know, live or die by the putter.
But you mentioned routine, but is there any like, maybe, I mean, the common amateur maybe doesn't, maybe there's somebody playing behind you, speeding you up a little bit. Is there any like really basic thing though, that like maybe keep your head down? Like, I don't know, something very simple that makes you a good putter besides routine?
Yeah, you know, I think, and I actually read an article on this most recently, was, you know, not enough people spend time hitting putts outside the golf course. So, you know, you think about guys, you know, my two probably not pet peeves, because it doesn't matter what you shoot to me, but is when someone walks up to the driving range and the first thing they do is take off the driver head cover and start bashing drivers. And then, which if you do, that's fine. But then the other thing I would say is, you know, they go right from the range to the first tee. They don't really hit putts. And if they do, it's for 2 seconds, and they don't actually focus on the speed. You know, you can have line or speed, but without both of them. So I think, you know, whether it's spending more time before the round or just practicing, you know, your stroke and tempo is the most important thing you can do.
Okay, very good. And a couple more real quick ones.
Yeah.
Favorite golf course?
Favorite golf course. Oh God. Oh man, you're killing me. Bradford Country Club. No, I
The
don't know.
follow-up is besides that, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Besides Bradford Country Club, I actually made a list. But gosh, favorite golf course that I guess that I've played.
Yes.
Okay, that's almost harder. Gosh, I'm sorry.
No,
You're killing me.
I kind of like this. This is good. I'm
Um,
seeing a little bit of the golf process right now. This is you reading a putt.
I would say, man, I'm gonna give them a nice shout out, but I'm looking at them right now. I would say it's probably Whistling Straits, or I'm going to give you two answers, or Champions Retreat in Georgia. I played
Okay,
there just before or during the beginning of Corona. So I would say it's probably between those two.
I like that. And fall golf or summer golf?
Man,
Good
fall
first week of
golf,
September question.
yeah, fall golf is nostalgic for high school golf. So I'm gonna have to go with fall
Okay, biggest.
without the leaves.
Yeah, that's the only tough part is when they haven't cleared the leaves. Find your ball. Biggest mentor in golf ever? Is it your grandfather?
Probably most recently, I'd honestly probably say um, probably Kevin, and not even golf, but just everything. And then Mike Califf. That's kind of a shot from left field, but Mike won 2 state amateurs in a row, was a professional, is a big time amateur now. We play a couple 4 balls together, and he's been huge. And just kind of the mental side of things. He's really kind of helped my game. Certainly playing with him helps a ton because he's so damn good. So, you know, I would probably go with Mike most recently.
And who is the player on the tour? It doesn't have to be on the tour, actually. It could be any professional in past years. Who's the player that you looked at him and said, that's the kind of game I want to be. That's the kind of golfer I want to be.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm probably realistic, and I'm not Dustin Johnson. I can't hit it nearly as far as him.
Turns out I'm not either. What a putt the other day.
Yeah, incredible. The guy's incredible.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, the guy that I'm probably most like I said, was probably Jason Duffner. When not game wise, but mental wise. I would say game wise, a guy that I probably have never thought about this really up until you said this question, and I don't know why he popped into my head, was Kevin Kisner.
Oh.
Good at putting, doesn't really hit it that long, but when he plays hard golf courses that aren't overly long, he does pretty well. So I think that would be a good person to emulate.
Yeah, one of those solid pros there, Kisner. So there you go. That's a good answer on that one. And who do you give? What family member do you attribute to really funneling? Because they always say the people that have these rounds that are able to play well like this, there's other factors in life. You need
Sure.
you need a like you said, your wife goes on vacations with you. I don't know if you have kids. No kids yet?
No children.
Okay, so that probably helps a little bit. But is there somebody? There must be somebody who's like the first person. Who's the first phone call to, not on the course?
Yeah, I called my dad.
You did it.
Yeah. I like picked the ball out of the hole and like didn't really even know what to do. Like I wasn't even celebrating. And I called him and I told him. I would say, my entire family as a whole, it's really hard to differentiate. He was the first call, but everyone's been good, especially even last year. Even extended family, everyone's kind of texted and called me whenever I've played well. So it's super nice to have.
That is cool. All right, last question.
Sure. Chick-fil-A. No, I'm kidding.
Chick-fil-A.
Favorite meal, Chick-fil-A.
Excellent. All right, let's do those real quickly. Favorite movie?
Oh God, favorite movie. Probably Dark Knight Rises might be up there. Or if I have to go with Golf, Tin Cup or Caddyshack.
Okay, favorite musician?
Luke Combs.
Ooh, nice. Favorite TV show?
Friends.
Favorite quarantine activity, not golf?
I'm gonna have to go with Netflix.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
yeah, that's
a very common answer.
That is fine. All right, and now my final question for the 10th time. Nick Maccario, again, this has been great. What do you do after you finish a round of 56? Of 56, like I imagine it's so. I mean, maybe I'd be tempted to give a hug to these guys. I don't know. Maybe a fist pump. But what do you do when you walk into the clubhouse?
Yeah, it was.
How'd you play? Yeah, 56.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it was unique. Nick Facette had been texting Kevin Murphy, the head pro, kind of since I got to the roughly 59 number. So when I got in, Kevin already knew. He didn't know about 18 and that I hold out. So he knew I broke 59, but not to know what it was. A lot of the guys came up and said, how'd it go? What'd you do on this hole? What'd you do on this hole? But made a couple phone calls, got a couple phone calls, had I don't know what I ate. Probably it was either a hot dog or a chicken sandwich, but definitely had a couple beverages as well. So it was well enjoyed.
You don't have to pay like on a hole in one, right? They got to be buying you.
Right. Luckily, I didn't make a hole in one. It would have been expensive. That's what I tell everybody. You want to make hole in ones when no one's around.
Do you have one?
I have two.
Of course you do.
Two.
Of course you do. I got my first one last year.
Oh, congrats. It's hard. It's, a lot of people, it's super hard. It's, you need a little bit of luck. Anyone that has one always says, it's never like the most perfect shot the way you draw it up. So, lucky enough to have two.
I got it with my family, playing with family members, and I had another foursome in front of me that saw it. So
plenty of people to witness.
It's a good moment. The hole, but it's funny too because I don't know if you've had that experience, but we can stop talking about hole in ones, but you never actually. I second guessed. I was like, it's definitely in, right? That'd be really embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. You never want to be like, are you sure it's in? Yeah. And be like, oh no, it's not. So you don't want to have egg on your face.
And you know why I was thinking that, besides the fact that it was a big moment for me, is I was thinking after I hit it kind of early in a round, and I'm thinking to myself, I got a good round going. Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
And like I studied that shit. I studied things for a while, but I still didn't finish particularly great. I can imagine it's almost like having a hole in one every hole for you is trying to,
Yeah, you gotta keep the pedal to the metal, and that's where a lot of people, I think, and that's just not playing a lot, right? So you have plenty of people that continue to play and not know how to handle a situation of making a hole in one or making an eagle or whatever that is. So, but it's fun when you do it. It's a story that you can tell everybody.
All right, Nick Maccario, we get a lot of high schoolers, middle schoolers that watch this show that come on during the school year, in particular when we're not in quarantine. What's your best advice to the young golfer?
Just keep playing. Don't burn yourself out, and have fun with it. It's one of those sports that you can play from when you're 5 years old until you're, almost gone, whenever that age is. So, have fun with it. I certainly did. Play with your friends and, try to get people into the game. I think that's number one, is trying to grow the game too. You can always have more kids, inclusion's huge. I think if we can get more and more people to play golf, it gets on a greater scale, which it already is, but we can certainly do more to do that.
Well, my wife, Sarah, does the intro with me. I almost got her to stay on for the actual interview, which doesn't usually happen. I thought I may have had her on this particular day. Not today, but I think everybody's going to be very pleased to watch this one live and watch it back whenever podcast style, however you take it. Congratulations, my friend. A 56.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
At Bradford. It was just great. And this is much better than any Barstool or ESPN interview.
Absolutely. Second to none.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Keep hitting them straight the rest of the season, man. I'll be watching you. I wish you all the best. Maybe we'll play around at Bradford if I bump into you some morning, all right?
Absolutely.
And you'll be giving me strokes.
We'll have to negotiate.
Fair enough. Be good, my man.
Thanks.
All right. How about that? Nick Maccario. Unbelievable around a 56. I get a 2-stroke penalty. I called it a 58 off the bat. Bad job by me. 2-stroke penalty. 56 from Nick Maccario at a wonderful Bradford course. I know a lot of people in the Newburyport area familiar with that course. We're based out of Newburyport. Of course, I'm doing the show from Danvers here during quarantine. I left that cabinet open. Has that been open the whole time? Sarah's going to yell at me. Kind of funny, though. I like it. It's like my golf game. It's kind of a little all over the place. But thank you to Nick Maccario. He did a great job here during the interview. Honestly, I could do that all day. I think a lot of you know I like the golf talk, and I really could have went all day with him. But obviously, apparently he has places to be. No, he would have stayed all day too because he seems like a good guy. But I appreciate Nick coming on the show. I know he's a busy man. I'm sure he's been getting plenty of these calls when you shoot that kind of low number anywhere. But I wish him all the best. Follow that guy's career. He's not even 30 yet, making me feel all old. But follow his career. We wish him all the best and many more low scores. Thanks for coming on, Nick Maccario, to end the week. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you enjoyed this week. We're going to have a really fun week. I enjoyed it. Went from the high school level to the golf course. Let Them Play rally the other night was a really good interview. After that rally in Newburyport, and then that interview there from Nick Maccario. Just fantastic. If you're playing this weekend, Labor Day weekend, very popular golf weekend. So if you're going out there, enjoy the weekend, have fun, and hit them straight. And it is a great game, isn't it? I love it. I want to go play right now. I'm going to leave. Live from Drew's house, another edition. Thank you, Nick Maccario. Thank you to my wife, Sarah Conway. We'll see you next time. A couple appearances from the dogs. See you, boys. Bye-bye now.